guessing with stressing. Sorry about that. I was not on the stage at first. I'm back to StreamYard, new intro, so it was a little different there. But um, I'm your host, Garrett Williams, aka Texans commenter. Yeah, and we're fresh off of a huge comeback win, man. It was season was on the line, dude. I mean, I was at the game. I didn't leave. I kept faith. I know a lot of people didn't, and I get how they didn't. Stadium was half empty. I was frustrated too, but I knew, we could still try to find a way to get in back in the game. So um, it was it was frustrating, but then in the end, it was awesome. And you don't say sorry. You just say, we'll take it and move on. And for me, when we had talked last and what I was saying online and in my articles is it doesn't matter how you win, just find a way to win. Obviously, you wanted to win like pretty and convincing and all that stuff, but we just needed to win. That's it, and move on to the next game. So shout out struggling Texans fan on X says, yo. Shout out BG on YouTube says, what's up, G? What's going on, BG? But yeah, we got Roll A Hinahosa on IG. My guy Fur, what up, Fur on IG? But yeah, so I mean, it wasn't pretty, but and I guess the good side of that too is the way we won. We get to rub it in the Jaguars fans' faces. So, as my buddy Fur said, Neck got that dub, but hey, I kind of got a neck too, so I'm part of the Neck family. But yeah, man, Mills Mafia. And obviously, like last week, he came in and lost. And, it was a reminder of like, hey, this is why CJ Stroud is the starter and not Mills. But at the same time, it wasn't like it's tough, like as fans, like in sports in general, like it just everything like and it's just like the way it is, I guess. But like it feels like every conversation or topic has to be like, which side are you on, this or that? And if you say something like this, then that means you mean this. But like, and what I'm getting at is like with Mills, like multiple things can be true. Like Mills didn't play great against Denver, but it was his first game, no game plan, thrust into the game and did good initially. Then they had time to adjust at halftime to him. And he also played a really, really good defense. Whereas now you play Jacksonville, he plays a worse defense, an average or even potentially worse than average, and their pass defense isn't great either, with time to prepare and does well. And he can have done well and won, but that not all of a sudden now mean that he's better than Stroud and needs to start over him. So that's part of it too, is like, why can't we just acknowledge it for what it is? He's a damn good backup. That's always been the conversation for me. Like, to me, he's a top backup. And he did what he was asked to do. He came in and did enough to win the game. And yes, it was late and it was last second, all that stuff. But like, he did his job. Like, he earned his paycheck. He earned every penny. And also too, I've been trying to like, talk with people too, like, oh, he finally threw to Nico. CJ never throws to Nico. But like all season, everyone's saying like, oh, all Stroud does is force it to Nico. So it's like, you just can't have it, with some people, like no matter which way you spin it, it's a loss. But to me, the way it went down is Nico had 7 catches on like 15 targets. So he forced the ball to Nico, but you have to look at it from a different perspective too. There's the element of he is a backup quarterback. He comes into the game first off with nothing to lose. Screw it. Gunslinger, throw it around, do stuff you normally wouldn't do. Season on the line, try and make stuff shake. And then also on top of that, we were down 2 to 3 scores all game. So we were pressing. So like you had to try and do stuff. So all that matters. Instead of saying like, oh, look, he threw to Nico. Nico went off. And Nico had like 100-something yards. 54 of his yards were on one play, a Hail Mary before the end of half. That was a garbage play where he just threw it and then Nico ran and caught it. So it was like he wasn't even being covered. So that matters too. But like me saying that, I'm also not shitting on Mills. I'm just highlighting, what it is. And so a lot of it too is like the way the quarterback is played. Like Stroud does not see a lot of man coverage. He did against Denver because Nico Collins was out. And so that's when, against San Francisco. And that's when we saw him spread around because now it's man coverage. Okay, he's the hot. Boom, boom. He's got one-on-one. He's got one-on-one. And so Stroud did struggle, in my opinion, at times trying to force it to Nico. And I think the big thing on that is the trickle-down effect of O-line. And I really think it was early on in this new offense, having new weapons, Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Xavier Hutchinson getting more of a role, getting chemistry with them, for one, for being new and more involved, and two, them learning the new offense. And so he knew he could trust Nico. Like, even if he was double covered, he could throw it to him. So that was a big part of it. But in the Seattle game, that was his worst game because all he did was stare at Nico. So it's like, you can't have it, but like, it's just like, I don't know. The conversation goes back and forth. Like, they'll say one thing and then say another thing. So it's just, I mean, I get it, but I want to harp on, like, you don't have to pick a side. Like, you can say Mills played great, but that doesn't mean that he's better than Stroud and should be starting over Stroud, or Stroud sucks. Like, and so it's like, why can't we just acknowledge it for what it is? He's a damn good backup who came through. He's not terrible or the worst player ever, like some people think. He's not the best player ever and better than CJ. And again, the context too, backup quarterback, down multiple scores, trying to make stuff shake. So, take it for what it is. Enjoy the win without having to, like, make it. Like, you don't have to, like, make it into all these conversations. Like, if you want to, fine. But, like, that's just where I'm at on it. But let me get to some comments. King Colby on YouTube, what's good is we blessing and we stressing. We're big blessing, baby. I'm feeling good. I mean, y'all know me. I'm always positive. So, like, I've been chill. Like, for me, the season was on the line against Jacksonville. So I was stressing during that game. Like, it got pretty hairy there for a minute, but, like, I still never completely clocked out, but I was ready to be like, damn, this sucks. Even then, like, you probably have to win out or lose one game the rest of the way. So it would have been, like, really, really tough, but, like, that was a must-win game. So after that, I'm chilling. Like, obviously we'll dive into the Titans. I mean, I'm starting to realize too now is, like, you just assume you're going to beat the Titans, but, like, the Titans, they're coming off a bye, and it's in Tennessee. Second time playing them. Tavondre Sweat is back, and they have Jeffrey Simmons. So two good interior players against our interior O-line, which is improving, but still, needs to prove some stuff. And, they just hung in there with the Chargers. They've been playing better as of late. So it's not a guaranteed win, but we'll dive into that. But shout out Johnny Lambo. He says, Davis, shooters shoot Mills. Yeah. And BG says, blessing. King Colby, BG, what's going down? King Colby says, I think CJ will be fine. I would rest him against the old Oilers. And then Julius Harris says, what's good, bro? That was one hell of a comeback win to keep the season alive. Facts. And, like, the way it went down too, like, there is benefit to that in the sense that, like, the team, like, obviously they kept faith because they won, but, like, they're like, damn, bro, like, this might be it. Like, obviously there's still plenty of season, but, like, this is a wasted opportunity. But, like, to be, like, dead and to come back, like, we just got new life, dude. Like, and I've been preaching this too, and, like, I know it can sound silly to people, and it's like cheap talk. And Liam Cohen, the Jaguars offense head coach, said this, and D'Amico says it a lot. And I know we don't like to hear it, especially when on the wrong side of it. But, like, the first 2 years in D'Amico's tenure, like, we were, like, really good in one-score games. It was like 7-0 or something, and then, like, the next year was like 7-5, but still. And then this year to start, we were 0-5. All of our losses were one-score games, and all of them were down to the final minutes. Like, we had a chance in the final minutes of every game to win. And so, like, yes, we lost those games, but that's different than, the Cowboys losing by 20, 30 points to the Broncos or whatever. Like, we've been in every game because we have an elite defense. So, yes, you have to do certain things to win those games, but there really is elements of luck that go into these games. Like, and so I've preached solely, like, just from variance alone, like, seeing how we did those first 2 years in close games and seeing that we're 0-5, things should naturally just correct themselves. And that's the same for other teams that we're trying to catch up with that are winning all these close games, like the Colts. Like, that should, law of averages, regress. It should kind of come back to the mean. So, and that's what we saw in this game. So Liam Cohen pointed it out because he was asked, the Jaguars are the team regressing. They started out hot. All of their wins were close wins, even against us in that first game. And, you know, they asked him, like, how are you able to win those close games? And then now they've lost 2 or 3 close games lately. And now how are you not able to win those? And he said basically what I said, like, yes, obviously there's plays you make, but there is the element of luck. And I agree with what he said. And I sat there in the stadium watching the game late in the fourth quarter. Like, we caught some breaks. There were multiple tipped passes by Mills that could have been interceptions that barely missed the defender that would have ended the game right there. And it didn't happen. So, like, and yes, like, you know, maybe they got some, we got some, but like, it's cheesy and corny and it's not the full crux of like looking at this stuff, but like that matters. So if you have that perspective, like, we are not a bad team. Like, so I've had that belief the whole time. So that's why I know a lot of people have been like super stressing. I've known like it's frustrating and I know we're much better than what the result is. I mean, that's coupled with the fact that you got a first time OC, new offense, new weapons, learning it. And I really, really felt like San Francisco, Stroud turned a corner, offense clicking, dude. Like, yes, San Francisco is banged up, but I really felt like that was a good thing. And I felt like he continued it against Denver and then he got hurt. And so but the offense overall, as we saw in this game too, like, you know, it feels like Cohen. So I listened to all the interviews from both sides of the teams when we played to kind of get insight. He kept saying in multiple interviews how they controlled the whole game. They did not. They did not control the whole game. We dominated that game. The only difference was special teams. Special teams sold the effing game. And that was the difference. And that was the hole we had to come out of. It was obviously first drive, Mills had an interception. And so I'll address that. I mean, they came out, it was a zero blitz look, and it was a zero blitz, meaning there was 0 safeties, and they were blitzing. I think they brought 6 or 7, so 2 to 3 more than the normal 4 you bring with just your normal 4 pass rush. And you can see the mugged up look from the backers. It was an obvious blitz situation. And, you know, we have bunch trips to the right, and Kirk is in the number 2, the slot, and he runs a hitch. And to me, Mills makes the right read because the guy guarding Kirk, who intercepted the ball, which was Jarrian Jones, who stepped in for Jordan Lewis, who's a very good nickel corner who got a pick against us last time, made a hell of a play. But he was like 10 yards off, and Mills is like, oh, shit, they're blitzing. Okay, Kirk has the 5-yard hitch route, which is my hot route. That's the quickest route to get the ball out, whereas Nico on the outside had like a glance or a short post route, so longer developing, you need time for that. Backside, similar, deeper developing routes. Okay, yeah, like they're going to blitz. This guy's off, got a 5-yard hitch, and he didn't like sit there and look at him. Like it was a pre-snap read, and he's kind of looking at the center, catch, turn, throw, boom, the guy picks it. And then when I went and watched the Jaguars, like did like a mic'd up thing on their YouTube, Jarrian Jones, after the play, came to the sideline. He says, I knew the play. I knew what was coming. And so what happened is this was a game plan look by their defense, in my opinion, them knowing that just like any team, when you show them a blitz, they're going to try to throw the ball quick to counter it. And then they knew from that formation with those 3 receivers, that side of the field, that the route concepts would probably be what they saw, that hitch from Kirk. So, but he said once I saw that, I knew I'm running to that spot no matter what. So it was a tendency, and it was an IQ play, but it was also a risk he took. He said, okay, I'm going to be off coverage, but I'm going to guess and jump this hitch. And he did. And it was like a great play. So sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the defense. So to me, Mills read the play right, made the right read. He didn't stare down the receiver. He threw the ball in under a second. You can't stare down a receiver when you catch and throw. Maybe you can be like, oh, well, why didn't you come off of it? I mean, it's a hitch route. So one, you can maybe ask for Kirk to come back to the ball a little bit. But also, too, the blitzer up the middle is right in his face in under a second. So as he's throwing, the guy's right here. So, yeah, like you want him to pull the ball down, sack, fumble, or try and scramble. Or people are saying, like, well, why didn't you throw this deep route over here? Like, he didn't have time to do it. So we can disagree, but that's my perspective. So I think, that's a rough start for Mills. Like, you made a couple good plays before that, kind of moving, carrying some momentum from the, having some success against Denver, at least a little bit. And then that can really like derail you. But as Johnny Lambo said, Mills said he has a keep shooting mentality. And I think it's easy for him to know, like, hey, like, that was just a good play. Like, if he had made a bad play, then it might have hurt his confidence. But so basically, they get the ball and we spot them 3 points, and we get a 3 and out, kick the field goal, make it, and then we get a unnecessary roughness penalty. Autry, he hit the long snapper. You can't do it. And so defense went into another situation, had to get another 3 and out, and they did. Held them to 3. So 3 points there off the bat, not on the defense. That was on Mills on the interception. And then right after that, they kicked the ball off, and Tremon Smith, who, by the way, he's a great player. He's fast. Why is he back there? Why is him and Damian Pierce returning kicks for us on these first couple kicks? He fumbles the ball. And the ball just, toting it like this and across his body. And they knock it out. Why are you returning the ball? And so they get the ball at the 20. And, you get them to third down, and they just make an insane throw and catch. Really just it was a pretty good throw by Trevor Lawrence, and it was a really good catch by Parker Washington. And they basically get 1 first down that equates to a touchdown. So it's like, now you're in a 10-0 hole. And you've ran 2 plays on offense, 3 plays on offense. So, and then, you stall on that drive. And then the next time you punt, they run a punt back for a touchdown. It's 17-0, and none of it is on the defense. None of it. Like, yes, you can say, well, they should stop them. Like, that's not fair to say, hey, defense, they can get 10 yards and that's it. Like, that's impossible, bro. So, and so they didn't dominate the game. That was special teams, 14-point special teams. And then you throw in, you can say defense, interception, 3 points, but like special teams sold the game early, and you were in that hole off of that. So, and if you look, we'll go into like the box score and the stats. Like, they did not control the game. Like, they only had 200 yards of offense. We had 300 plus yards. Their offense sucked, even though they got a bunch of points. Like, their offense really. So if you had 14 from the punt return touchdown, and then getting the ball in the 20 on the fumble and the kickoff, that's 14 points they got off of that. And then 3 from the INT with a short field, that's 17. They had 29. So they scored 12 total points that were legit driving the field. And like, I know, but like, when you're talking about our defense in a team like has to drive the field like at least 50 yards, if not starting the ball on the opposite 40, or now we're talking 30 and 20. Like, it's very rare for an offense to march the field against our defense. So let me get to some comments on that on the chat real quick. Keep everybody engaged. And then Henry Jack, should the Texans sign Beanie Bishop? They signed a guy they worked out today. I believe they worked him out, but didn't sign him. And then my opinion on people saying the Titans is a trap game. It can be a trap game. Like, we need to take it serious. They have nothing to lose. Like I said, coming off a bye at home, played the Chargers well. I've played some decent ball, some glimpses here. And then RJ Dio says fans are never happy, and it's pathetic how they want Mills to be the starter. Stroud has proven so much as a rookie, something that Mills didn't when he had the chance to go Texans. Yeah, and so like me selfishly, like I want Stroud to be back from his concussion to play to stop this whole dialogue, because I believe in Mills. Mills can play good again and get us a win again, but I know like what we feel now about, oh, Stroud sucks, start Mills, like all that crap you're hearing is going to be 10x if we have anything similar to that against the Titans, which Titans and Jaguars defense is not very good, but it is what it is. I mean, you just got to live with it. So BG says Simmons was a DNP on today's injury report. Yeah, we'll go through that, but that's good to hear. I mean, it sucks for him, but that would be huge. King Colby, nobody's talking about our time of possession we've been having since the Seattle game. Facts. Even the time of possession this game was pretty good. So let me get to some of y'all on IG. Sorry, I want to keep y'all engaged. I'm trying to get to comments as much as I can. So let's see here. The homie Ricky, Money Mills is going off. Facts. Ryan says only sense of pride this season. Elson says the number 1 defense in the league, baby. Without a doubt, dude. Pretty much every metric except red zone. But I believe there's only like 10 red zone or 10 goal line, I believe is what it is. And, part of it is it's a small volume, but they definitely need to improve there. But, I mean, total points is the biggest thing. not to mention total yards, total passing yards, total rushing yards. Like the defense is elite, bro. And then not to mention this game, like, yes, the Jaguars had injuries. We had injuries too. Jalen Petrie was out. And that's a huge chess piece. So that was a question going into the game. Jalen Petrie is an X factor. He plays the nickel, but in our defense, a 4-2-5, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, he is essentially a third linebacker who can also be like a corner / safety. Like he's a very versatile, unique piece. So like you can have a nickel package and still stop the run. So I suspected they elevated Miles Bryant that he would fill in that nickel, which is what he did. And I mean, things played out like game plan wise, pretty much how I thought. So coming into the game, the Jaguars recently have started running a lot of jumbo packages like we have, meaning that they would bring in an extra tackle as a extra tight end. And they did that because they've had injuries to receivers and tight ends, and they want to run the ball, and they did it against the Raiders, and it worked well. So they were going to do that. And so what do you need to do? You need to match that with one of two things, with 5 down linemen when normally we have 4. So sometimes we'd match it with 5, or now you run 4-3. And so instead of having Miles Bryant be the nickel, since Petrie's out, you probably would have kept Petrie in. But now you have Azeez as your Mike. EJ Speed started as the Will. And then Henry To'oTo'o came in as the Sam in the 4-3. And you're not worried about him in coverage because you're stopping the run more often than not. So that was one way, and that was all going great. But you know what happened? And then even then, too, I think before this happened. So, and then after that, our strong safety, MJ Stewart, like tore his quad. It was on a pretty crazy play. Tim Patrick cracked him on a crack block and kind of messed him up. But MJ Stewart, who, by the way, people were like, oh, who's MJ Stewart? It's just a scrub, no name. Like, stepped in and played great. He's a underrated physical player. And I think the biggest thing at the strong safety position is just being in the right spot. Like we saw it with CJ Gardner-Johnson, great player, but playing a position like that didn't really suit his skill set. And he wasn't, grasping the defense, and he got burnt on a lot of plays because of miscommunications or being over aggressive. So MJ Stewart played really well. And so, but now you have MJ Stewart go down. Like, well, crap. So what happened then? They put Miles Bryant to safety, strong safety, and he did great there too, just like MJ Stewart. Like that dude's a dog. Miles Bryant is very underappreciated. He is a smaller guy, but like all these people that DeMeco Ryans gets, he gets certain types of players for his defense that fit the swarm mindset. And that is a physical, tough player. And then smart players. And they've been in the system. Like Eric Murray was a prior safety that everyone would shit on all the time, that strong safety. And he was great. And, he went to the Jaguars, didn't play against us because on the IR, gets paid like $20 million. But he was a good player. He was just, for whatever reason, he just wasn't some flashy name, so people would shit on him. But like, and he was that kind of player too. He would hit people. And then you have Miles Bryant's the same way. Obviously, we know all the big names that are like that, but MJ Stewart was like that too. Like MJ Stewart would hit people. Like he gets people that are aggressive and smart. So, but yeah, so the injury happened to MJ Stewart. Miles Bryant rotates to strong safety. But even before that, I was observing too, like in known passing downs that were like long passing downs, we were starting to rotate Kamari to the slot, and then we were doing Tremont Smith as the second cornerback for Kamari. And so then obviously once Miles Bryant had to move to strong safety for MJ Stewart, they started using that more as their nickel package. So they would run now. After that, they ran a lot of 4-3 on early downs versus the run. But then now it was like second and long or third and long. They would do Tremont Smith, Kamari slot, and Miles Bryant strong safety. And that speaks to Kamari Lassiter too. He's that kind of player too, like smart, physical, aggressive player. I'm talking fast. I almost had a little hiccup there. But yeah, so Kamari, he balled out in that position. Like he's great at slot outside. But and also too, like this just speaks to the depth and the versatility of this defense. So you're down Jalen Petrie, you're down MJ Stewart, you're down CJ Gardner-Johnson if you want to get down to the weeds. You're down Jalen Smith, who was our cornerback 3, but now Tremont Smith is coming in. So you're down like 4 to 5 players in the secondary, and you're still balling, bro. Like that speaks to the depth and the coaching and the types of players we have. So like, that's crazy, dude. And obviously you played a banged up Jaguars offense and not a great offense I don't think Trevor Lawrence is that good. But, obviously they were missing Travis Hunter. They were missing BTJ. But, I still think that it would still be a similar result, and it was still impressive by our defense to adapt. But, and then Jacoby Myers, they just got from the Raiders, was new, so he was playing, but, didn't know the playbook quite that well. But I will say Parker Washington's their best receiver. That dude's underrated. I even thought it when we played him the first time. And he's one of those players who gets drafted like 6th, 7th round, whatever it is, late. And it just like, because we don't know them, scouting them as fans in the pre-draft process, it takes us like so long to catch up to him. Like, the guy's good. Like, it doesn't matter where he's drafted. Like, he's a baller. He had the punt return. He had several big plays. He trucked Kamari on a play. He had 2 touchdowns, a punt return and that snag. So, but yeah, so I mean, it was a great, resilient game. And then, but also too, like my game plan, which played out to be the same way on defense, was obviously stop the run and to put the ball in Trevor Lawrence's hands to force him to win the game. And he is notoriously bad against zone defenses. And so early downs, if you run zone, run cover 3. So now the safety's in the box. That's a run stopping one, which we pretty much did. And then on longer downs, run 2 high shells, which is Trevor Lawrence is bad against that. Cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, which is cover 2 and cover 4, and rely on your pass rush to get home with 4, which is exactly what happened. So Trevor Lawrence sees zone, holds on to the ball, that extra half second, and he's crushed. And so Danielle Hunter had an awesome game. I think it was 3.5 sacks. We'll get into the stats, but I get it. Like, a lot of fans early on freaking out, like we might as well tank the season, trade players. There was a lot of trade Danielle Hunter talk, which is absolutely dumb. That is like so dumb. And obviously we see, a game with 3.5 sacks, but he also had 3 or 4 tackles for loss in the run game. And even when he hasn't been getting these sacks, him and Will aren't just, getting these. The sacks are awesome. Like, they changed the game, but they're also like, that specific player may not get it, but they might cause someone else to get it. Like, it's very overrated and shallow. Like, there's a lot of context to be had too. Like, for the Texans defense, having by far the best edge rushing duo in the league, and Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, before they even play a game, the opposing offense already changes their entire game plan because they know how disruptive these guys are. They don't even give their quarterbacks chances to throw the ball deep unless they really, really have to late in the game, or, long situations to go. So like, they come out, screens, quick game, move the pocket, like they just get rid of the ball. And so like, they're doing a dink and dunk offense because they can't push the ball on the field, because they know when they do, they're going to get sacked. And so it felt like they actually tried to push the ball down the field more this time with Trevor Lawrence than they did last time against us. And you saw the result. So like, yes, Danielle Hunter played better, obviously, but he's been playing good the whole time. I don't know that much change. It's just the way the other offense played, really, is what my opinion is. And yeah, I mean, the thing that was noted by D'Amico, and was noted by Matt Burke today about Danielle Hunter in this game specifically, was his get off, like the way he got off the ball, timing the snap, and like how efficient he is with his steps. Like, he is like, on top of being like a freak human being, he is like very cerebral and very technical. Like, every foot jab is like, there's no false step. So like, a false step, like if you're a receiver, or, receiver and DN are pretty similar, like from a lot of technical stuff, but like a false step would be like, when you come off the ball, you kind of step back first, then go. Like, there's no wasted movement. It's like straightforward. Like, obviously when you're talking about getting the quarterback, every split second matters. So no false steps. Every step is pinpointed. He would step out to get him to move here, and then step in to kind of take this leverage, and then rip here. I mean, it was insane, dude. Like, him and Will balled out. But yeah, I mean, the Stingley interception was, I saw 2 of the best plays I've seen in a long time in this game, both by the Texans. The Derek Stingley interception was just stupid. It was so stupid, bro. Like, I'm watching it. Like, I'm in, I say this every time. Like, I'm in the second deck watching the game. It's like a live all 22. And, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense is their backs to me. So I'm looking at it like that. And I see it. And I just see like him throw the ball. And I just like, see a Texans player just like flash across the field. And I'm like, did that guy just pick that ball? And then you see the replay. He's like a yard and a half behind the receiver, just sticks his arm out and just snags it. Like, it was insane, dude. And he kind of probably baited Trevor Lawrence. That's how Sting is. Like, he knows if he covers guys really tight, they won't test him. So it's like he almost gets bored and like, hey, I want to play. Like, hey, I want some action, so I'm going to make you think he's open. Please throw it to him. And then now I can try and make a play on the ball. So, like, just getting to it and then catching with one hand was insane. And then the Nico Collins one-hander on that 2-point conversion, I had an excellent view on that too. Again, I'm in the corner end zone, second level. He catches it right here in the pylon. I see him just stick his hand out, get it, and get 2 feet in this tiny little corner. I was like, dude, like, both of those plays, I was like, what the hell? And then obviously the Mills touchdown run was, dude, the Mills touchdown run. I will say this, so about half of the stadium left. And I get it. Like, I don't judge anybody for anything, especially circumstances. But half the stadium's gone. And I want to say it was like, even before that Mills touchdown, there was like their drive before we got a sack. And that was like, and I've been to almost every home game since inception, since 2002. That was one of the loudest couple of moments in that game with a half-filled stadium. And so I don't know if that just speaks to how loud people were, or maybe it just sounds louder if it's half empty, but like, it was kind of weird. I don't know if anybody was there and kind of observed that too. And then obviously the Mills touchdown, like, it was pandemonium, dude. Man, what a play by him. Mills on wheels, baby. That was insane. So shout out Larry Payton. My swarm has been taped and I'm ready for the Titans. Let's go, man. Henry Jack, the Texans signed Kevon Wallace. That is correct. He is, I don't really know much about him, but I know they signed him. I believe he's a defensive back. Brandon Halam says this Jags team could drop out of the playoff running. Next 4 games are huge. Yeah, dude. I mean, they're back down to earth. They're an average team at best. They were thinking they're a Super Bowl caliber team because they have one of the goofiest, flukiest game-winning drives by Trevor Lawrence against the Chiefs. Rather than like seeing it for what it is, they got delusional and started popping off. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Henry Jack, should the Rockets sign Kyrie Irving to reunite with KD? No, the Rockets look good. Engineer, the Davis Mills situation is a distraction. The main consistent issue is the coaching staff's personal decisions. Why can't they just be normal? LOL. Yeah, so I mean, obviously I mentioned the kick return. That's what I was talking about. Like, you return with Tremont Smith and Dameon Pierce. Why? You have Jalen Noel, who you drafted evidently as a best player available. Evidently, you drafted him primarily as a special teamer, punt return and kick return, from like what we're seeing and not playing on offense. And then you don't even play him on kick return. Like, you have to wait until a fumble happens. Like, oh shit, yeah, we should put him back there. And then Braxton Berrios, who now that guys are healthy isn't doing much, but you got him because he is a punt returner, kick returner, former All-Pro kick returner. But you know what? Now we'll put Tremont Smith and Dameon Pierce back there. Like, what are we doing? Like, it shouldn't take a catastrophic play for you to realize that. So, and that's just that. But like, offensive line, City Sal. What was that? City Sal at right guard. Surprise. We will talk about this for the rest of our lives. Hey, remember that one time against the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2025 in a must-win back against the wall game? The Texans started City Sal, a guy that got off the streets, former Patriot. You guys remember that? And he lasted 9 snaps, and about every play he was in just got destroyed. Pulled on one, whiffed, got ran right by and blown up every play. What a disaster that was. And, D'Amico, I'll go through all the timeline and show all the clips, but like, D'Amico's logic, he kind of alluded to like practice, and it alluded to like mental. And so, one, you don't know if that was like a discipline thing, like guys are messing up to like teach him a lesson, or if they really thought he was the best option because he mentally got things in practice, but obviously didn't physically. And, when I say his name, I can't help but think of that South Park episode with the Asian guy, and he talks about my shitty walk, my shitty wall. I think of a shitty show, or shitty shit show. But yeah, so I mean, I don't like ragging on players because they're obviously good and athletes, but So that was questionable. And then, but we did finally see Woody Marks get the lion's share of the carries. Let's go. They talk about how his game plan week to week, but like that is the formula. And you know what happened is he got most of the carries. Again, we'll go to the box score. But when Nick Chubb now comes in, he's fresh. He's spry. Nick Chubb looked the best he's looked all year. Like he looked like he was super explosive. He came in if it's kind of contrary to what you'd think. Like you think Woody Marks should be the change of pace back, but like if you start with Woody Marks as the primary back and then coming with Chubb, and then all of a sudden like he's out there looking fresh, dude. Like, and he was effective, 5 carries, and he had like, we'll go through the stats, but like he was very effective. And so that's the formula right there. Snaps for Dare went down. He played a little bit because Marks seemingly got hurt for a little bit. It seemed like he's had a calf, and it seemed like he was kind of limping, and they just told him to go down to like, we all thought he might have tore his Achilles, but he was kind of like, he might as well have gone down and take the injury time out rather than just, be in limbo. So that's what I think happened there. But, but still too, like the one thing that I hate from Nick Caley the most right now is on 3rd and shorts. There's all this talk about we're in 3rd and long too much, so they know we're passing, blah, 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 blah. And, you need these 3rd and shorts, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4s, these downs where you don't know whether it's run or pass, to where now you have an advantage as an offense to, have the unpredictability. But then you bring in Dare Ogunbowale on 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 4. And guess what? It's about a 99.9% chance when he's in the game, you're going to fucking throw the ball. So why would you do that? You finally get a down that you've been complaining you never get, so the defense doesn't know what you're doing, and then you tell them what you're doing. Like in the last game against Denver, they saw that when Dare came in, even though it was 3rd and 2, a rundown potentially, they're going to pass, and they would just drop every fucking player. They would drop 8 players. They would only have 3 rushers. And the Jags did the same thing. The time that I saw that we did the same thing with Dare, like, oh, it's 3rd and 2 midfield, they're still going to pass. We're going to drop 8 and only rush 3. And so now you're throwing into 8 people. It's like, who can do that? So that needs to improve. But I will say Nick Caley needs his flowers. Nick Caley called a hell of a fucking game. Nick Caley was balling. Like, I know, I criticize D'Amico, I criticize Caserio, I criticize Caley. So like back to my earlier point about sports talk, like we all want everything to, like, if you do this, that means this. Like, because I criticize Caley does not mean I say fire him. I never have. I have not said that. I've been frustrated with him. I've said that Caserio's seat is the hottest among those 3. I've never said fire him. And so like you can say things, and you get little troll fans like, oh, you talk crap about your team. Like, I criticize my team, but I've never quit or said fire this guy or that guy. So you can do both, But with that being said, I get the frustrations and concerns with Caley. I've been honest on his case a lot. I haven't been quite as down on him as most people. I've kind of like still had faith and optimism. To me, the big Achilles heel for him has obviously been short yardage and red zone. And, like it kind of teeters back and forth. And I really do think that he called an incredible game in those areas. I mean, we finally saw new run plays, more pulling guards on counters or powers, and tackles. And we also saw one of the most encouraging plays, and we've all been calling for on the goal line, 2nd and goal in the 1. We ran a crack toss. We ran an outside run. Every time otherwise we've ran the ball, we've ran it right up the gut. And we've been calling for it, and you could see on that play that the Jaguars knew too, like, they're going to run it up the middle. Their entire defense just was in the backfield up the middle because they're expecting it. So 1, you can get beat and still win. But 2, it's like you've been doing it so much. And it's what I've been saying, like the way the front is structured, they're all pinched in. They're all ready for the inside run. Then run it outside. And so he finally did it, and it worked brilliantly. Nico cracked the edge, and then Ursary pulled out and blocked the corner, and Woody Marks was in no problem. And so, with that being said, maybe he was setting that up. I don't know if that's what it was, but so it's good to see that improvement. But like the fact that you finally did that, that is now on tape. So as much as teams have been selling out for the inside run, it'll be a little bit less. And so the more you kind of keep them honest and now start to run more of these plays here and there, now we're not so one-dimensional or so predictable. So that was very encouraging. But I believe we had 5 red zone trips. I think we were 4 for 5. The one we didn't convert on, 2 great plays that Mills didn't connect on. The first was a play to the second one was a great design. Nico in the slot, and it was a big slot fade. So that means like he runs like a vertical, but like when you're in the slot, you now have 10, 15 yards to work with, whereas opposed to running a fade on the outside, you have like, 5-yard window between the sideline. And so that gives you a lot of room to work. And Nico was open, and it was a bad ball by Mills. And then the play before that was a mesh concept. And Mills was staring down Nico, and Higgins on the backside, they had a miscommunication, was wide open, just didn't look his way. And that was a weird one where Mills, it felt like a throwaway. He threw it like right in between 2 defenders directly to nobody. It was weird. So, again, you can criticize him, but also say he played well. Like, I'm just being fair and honest, calling things how I see it. And then we converted all the other times. So like Kaylee called a hell of a game in the red zone. One of the other touchdowns was to Jaden Higgins. It was cover 4, meaning there was 4 deep, corners deep, safeties deep. And he ran a concept where Jalen Knoll was in the slot, and it was ironically called a Mills concept. And this became a hot topic when the Mina Kimes, thing happened about beating cover 4, and it kind of got misconstrued. But basically people are like, yeah, you can beat cover 4 deep with a Mills concept, which is, a post on the outside and a in-breaking route on the inside, like a dig, which Mills actually said it was cover 4. They posted a video today where he talked about the play, and he said it was cover 4 and that it was kind of like a post, but he crossed face, so it acted like a dig. So now Knoll brings that safety down, and then now Higgins breaks to the post and replaces where that safety was. And so pre-snap, you knew where it was going to go. So I was encouraged by Nick Caley a bunch on his play calling. Let me get to some comments. Brandon says, next we hear about Stroud and Mills playing on a rotation, LOL. Yeah, that would be crazy. Hennessy Black, people forget that defenders get paid too, is a hell of a play. I agree on the Jerry and Jones pick. BG, that's a huge problem. Their decision-making and personnel use is questionable. HT Traveler, evening, everyone. What's up, HD? And so we're going down. Brandon says, plus he's kind of like Will Anderson Jr.'s mentor now. He's talking about Danielle Hunter. I agree. Henry Jack says, I hope CJ comes back. And so we can talk about that. Over on IG, if I missed your comments, I'm sorry. If you want the best way to get your comments, I come back to IG, but is through YouTube, Facebook, or X. It shows up on my platform here. Otherwise, I got to look to this screen for Instagram. But Arsenault Peters, what needs to happen for us to make playoffs? I think you can maybe get in with 9 wins. I know people don't think that, but like 10 wins for sure. So that means you would only have to lose 2, which I still think is doable. B Hurt says, I saw Stroud is still having symptoms. Do you think he plays this weekend? Probably unlikely. I know Aaron Wilson reported it's unlikely, but it's the protocol. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, then no. Trent McInder says, I'm going, so I'll make sure we win. Let's go, baby. Let them know what's up down there in Nashville. I've been in that stadium before. I went to a game years ago on New Year's, and it was like a meaningless game. Last game of the year. It was a Tom Savage game. It was on New Year's Day, hungover as shit, rainy. It was terrible. Brandon says, let's see. Brandon says, can Stingley teleport? Because I'm having trouble believing my eyes with what I'm seeing. Yeah, that was insane. What's up, Nosh? He says, the ones who stayed were pumped. Yep. JJ Sugar with the HZ. What's going on, JJ? And the yearly annual Jaguars meltdown continues. Yep. Trilled 5200 says they just playing a lot of them guys to keep them on the roster. Brandon says, whoa, walking around the side of my house in the dark and something Crazy, bro. And then Nosh says, what are my thoughts on Trent Brown? So let me take a sip of water. I'll get to that. Let's see. I try to talk to, because a lot of people, by the way, if you have to leave and want to re-listen, Spotify and Apple are great places to do that. But I try and I don't have much time. I wish I could go every day, so I try and cram all this stuff into one night. But I try to get as much content as I can in this for people long form. If you want to re-listen, like I can give you everything you need to know about the previous week, prior, and going forward. So it's a lot that way. But yeah, if you don't, please subscribe to me on both of those platforms and leave a 5-star review. It does a lot. And then on the YouTube video, if you're on there, like it. Obviously subscribe there. Texans commenter on Apple and Spotify. It's called Second Guessin, Guessan, with Stressan. So I mean, if you just type Stressan or Houston Stressans or Texans football, it might pop up. Obviously X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I have a Twitch now as well, which I believe is Texans commenter, Houston Stressans. If you're a Twitch guy, I'll start pushing that more. Again, obviously website. I got merch there. I'm going to be doing a giveaway with this Anderson the Terminator shirt. I started it, didn't get much traction on it. I'll reopen it now that maybe vibes are higher. Do a giveaway there. I want to make a Danielle Hunter. What is Danielle Hunter's name? Why am I blanking on Will Hunter's name? Will Anderson's the Terminator. He's a cyborg. I want to do a cyborg one for your boy Danielle Hunter. Or if I got this is my hat here, Houston versus everybody. I got shirts like that. So I got a free newsletter there. Feel free to subscribe. Trying to write more articles. It's just there's just so much that I do. But yeah, so but back to Trent Brown. So I was surprised that, I guess back to the O-line, I was surprised that Patterson started at left guard. And I'm like 3/4 of the way through. Obviously, I watched the game. I was there. I'm like 3/4 of the way through the all 22. Patterson seems like he did pretty good. Patterson's pretty solid. He's not elite. He's not terrible. He's slightly above average, which for us at left guard, we'll take, because Laken Tomlinson was not. And Juice Scruggs at left guard was not. I think there is an element, too, of Scruggs being a center guard, depending on, my buddy pointed this out to me, Scruggs may be a better right guard than left guard, based off of being a center, on where your hand is on the ball type of thing. I'm not sure what hand he is and where he snaps it with and where his hand's on the ground. But late in the year, last year, Scruggs played right guard and did decent, relative to what we had. And so Scruggs did. I thought Patterson played better than Scruggs, but Scruggs played better than Sal, and he played good enough. He had his moments. And Trent Brown, live in the game, it's hard to really lock in on O-line every position. It felt like he was playing really well. But now I'm going back to watching the film. He played good. But the thing with him is he had some bad plays, like some chop blocks where you just whiff on the guy, like the Davis Mills touchdown where he just whiffs. Some run plays where he whiffs. But the guy is so fucking big. He's 6'8", 380. 6'8", 380. I mean, you can afford to miss, but you're so big that you just eat up space. You still slow down the defender. Whereas if you're 6'5", 280, 300, or whatever it is, for Fisher or whoever, when you get beat quick. At least you have a little resistance just by standing there. So, but he adds an element to that line we didn't have, was a massive human being. And, he did have some really good run blocking plays where he's just mauling guys. If he can just go straight ahead and not have to whiff or whatever. But he also hadn't played in a year. He hadn't played in over a year. So, I mean, that is impressive. And to play at right tackle, he's played both tackles, but to go from left tackle most recently to right tackle, on a short notice, that's pretty damn good. He's only been practicing for a couple of weeks, it feels like. So I don't know how we were all wondering, I just assumed Fisher would start at right tackle, and I just assumed that Scruggs would start at left guard, or I'm sorry, Scruggs would be at right guard. And then who did I think would be at left guard? Because obviously I thought Lakeland would be at left guard. So not only did you have Ed Ingram out and you replace him with Sal and then Scruggs, but you replace Lakeland. So that was awesome to see. So like they're showing proactiveness. So that was good to see. But then I listened to part of Casario's interview with Harris and Vandermeer today, and he said it sounds like part of the logic was of why Trent Brown played right tackle and not Blake Fisher was they've been really using a lot of the jumbo package with Fisher at that third tackle tight end spot, and they didn't want to disrupt that. And so the best way was to insert Trent Brown at right tackle and then just keep doing that as you were. So, and it worked out. So, but Titus Howard practiced today off his concussion. And so, I think the lineup going forward now after what I just went through should be left tackle Ursery, who, by the way, Ursery, he's trending, like I've been giving Casario shit for the O-line because of, the approach and, them putting a lot on Ursery, but like he's responding pretty good. He had some moments, obviously the first time against Josh Hines Allen, he got worked and gave up the game, losing sack to Hines Allen, strip sack that turned into, it wasn't a sack. It was a hit the ball that turned into a pick. He had like a 6% pressure rate, but Josh Hines Allen, you didn't hear from him. And he's a pretty damn good edge rusher. So he got his lick back. So that's awesome to see. You would assume he only continues to improve. And he did great in run blocking too. Out in the move, they had him pulling a couple times. But then aside from that, though, left guard, Patterson, you have to keep Patterson at left guard. He played good. Center, obviously, is Jake Andrews. He's average, some good, some bad, not overly terrible. And at the very least, he's getting the communication part of it down. Like there's not a lot of issues in that department, which is very underrated for a center. And then right guard, obviously Ed Ingram's back. Awesome. He's been playing out of his mind this year. And then over at right tackle, you have Titus Howard. So like the question was, okay, do you put Titus at left guard and then do you put Trent Brown at right tackle? I don't think Trent Brown played good enough to start at right tackle. And I think Jarrett Patterson played good enough to start at left guard. But now you have the jumbo package with Blake Fisher at right tackle, or you can even bring Trent Brown. And I thought of this yesterday. What about an extra jumbo package? 4 tackles: Ursery, Howard, Fisher, Brown. And you could do those are both your tight ends and as tackles, and one's on the ball and one's offset. Or you could even put Trent. Could you imagine Trent Brown as a fullback or even like an offset fullback as a lead blocker? Like that. Think about that. Like as many of the struggles we've had in short yardage, and Kaylee has told us, and we see it through the plays, is he wants to be a downhill physical outfit. Okay, well, put a 6'8", 380-pound guy back there. That'll help you. And also put Blake Fisher out there. Like run a play behind. Could you imagine a play behind Ursery, Fisher, and Brown? Just all 4 of those guys just running on the edge right there. That would be insane, dude. Like I'm down for that, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. So getting back to the questions, King Colby. He's talking to Brandon. Johnny, you broke my shitty wall. I'm glad you got the reference for the shitty show. BG, I think I'm tripping this first game I've seen pull linemen on toss plays. Yeah, dude. So like Kaylee's evolved. Hey, we got someone on Twitch. Let's go. All right. Love your content. Joining the next stream with friends. Add up on Discord. Helena09. Awesome. And I've thought about doing a Discord channel. I know there's a lot of stuff out there and people have their own stuff, but I've thought about doing that as well. So I'll start promoting Twitch more. I appreciate the kind words there. It's ABISET30. So Abiset. Texans fan J, LOL. I was firing Casera and the entire offensive coaching staff have the first quarter of that Jags game. Hey, that's fine, man. Like, again, I don't judge. Like, I have my opinions. Y'all can listen to it, like it or not. We don't have to agree. And, we don't have to agree on the flip side, like me with you, but like, I'm not telling anyone how to think. I just am passionate like we all are. And we all see things differently. So, and then let's see. Brandon says, even with our dissatisfaction in some of the play calling and yardage, the team has snuck into the top half offenses of the NFL by yardage. Yeah. And so y'all know me, I was very high on this because I thought Stroud would get command from jump and it would just be all, roses and whatever. But it's taking time, and, it could start clicking. And so let's see. Just need to get the red zone game down. And, I hate to say this, and it's like an excuse mindset, but like now that we're halfway through the season, you go back and look at the games where we struggled. Seahawks, short yardage red zone, elite fucking defense in those areas. Broncos, I mean, we know about that. I mean, Zach Allen, Myers Franklin, that's on their interior. Elite defense. We struggled there. Who else did we struggle against in the short yardage? I think the only other one that was like noticeable, I mean, the Rams, we struggled overall. I mean, the Rams are good. The Bucks have a decent interior, and that was more so play calling. But the other two you can look at and be like, it's just a tough defense, tough interior. Like that's the Achilles heel for us. Our interior O-line our whole O-line is playing, and I've been preaching it the whole time, like they're better than what people think, especially in pass pro. But where we're seeing the weaknesses, interior O-line and the run game. And maybe that changes now with this new personnel. But I will say, though, short yardage, a big part of that is the mismatch. When we play an elite interior, when you play Denver's tackles. But, I mean, we have the Titans where they have Jeffrey Simmons, who may or may not play, it sounds like, and Tavondre Sweat. But, I mean, so you're going to play good. It's not an excuse, but, you look back and those teams that we played are all top defenses that we struggled in those areas, red zone, short yardage, and they're also top defenses in those areas. So it does make you feel better. And then now we're seeing enough, like the Ravens you beat up on, the Niners you beat up on, the Jaguars you beat up on. So like we've had these ones, but we keep shitting on them. But like, and you look at the rest of the schedule, we really don't face teams as good as the ones we struggled against. So real quick, shout out to people on IG, Bounty936. I see you in the chat, bro. Shout out Donald. I see you in the chat as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in. But yeah, so that's something that I think will continue to improve. And I know we wanted to say it's all Kaylee and it's all this and that, but like, I'm optimistic, dude. Like, that's how I am naturally, but like, it's genuine. Like, it's not just, no basis for it. Johnny says going to the Chiefs game in KC, hoping it means something at that point. Oh, yeah, man, that'd be dope. Yeah, I'm hoping too, man. Could be a big game. Could be our first one there. Yep, that will be a big game there. I answered that one. Shout out. Man, that's a tough name to pronounce. Ola, I'm going to try it. I don't know why I'm doing this, but thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Ola Basipo Ogun Madode. Let me know if I pronounced that right, but he asked about right guard for right tackle Howard, which I addressed with my opinion. And then Brandon says, and now we have Trent Brown for the goal line plays. Yep. And so now you can sub him in on, that's a great point. Like very least you just put him in goal line as a tackle. And then BG, sheesh, hell yeah, Johnny. Kind of going through, make sure I get some good ones. It's tough. I love that y'all have your own convos in here. I try and read most of the comments. So, Trent Brown is massive. Pause, but yeah, Johnny's kind of echoing my point about the extra jumbo. And then Nosh Ursery put JH in the blender this game. Oh, another Twitch. Let's go. Well established says cheap viewers. That's probably a bot, but hey, I'll take bots in the chat. I just got excited for nothing there. Brandon, I wanted to see Trent Brown on the field goal unit, making sure you guys get through that line. Yep. And then, yeah, they're saying the coaching staff overthinks things. And so, yeah, let's just kind of, the flow of these things, just kind of going through it. Dylan Foltz on IG, you my goat Stressans. I appreciate that, man. You got me blushing over here. let's see, scores. We're going to go back through the box score. Let me just get it pulled up. This might be a long one tonight, boys. So I'm trying not to go too long because tomorrow is my daughter's birthday. Let's see, present. So yeah, Trent Brown tush push. I mean, we need hey JJ, you gotta have faith in me. I think I nailed that pronunciation of that name, bro. You gotta have some faith in me, bro. 11 Bravo, the Trent Brown tush push. I mean, I'm for it, dude. Like, that's something we don't do. Is you're allowed to push your ball carriers in forward, and we don't ever do that. Share screen. 1 second here. Okay. So we'll just run through the box score real quick, kind of work towards putting a cap on this game. But yeah, Davis Mills, 27 of 45, 292 yards, 84 rating, 2 sacks. 1 sack was like not even a sack. So there was only 1 true sack given up. Woody, 14 for 63, Long of 21. We finally had some explosive runs. And I will say, too, late in the game on that last drive, dude, it was like 6 minutes or so. That throw to Schultz on our own end there, 3rd and long, hung in there, threw it to him, let him upfield. Amazing. And we stuck with the run. Like, you could see the run game was working. They were getting gassed, and we kept doing it. And it did multiple things. It worked and got us positive yards, but it also drained clock. And that was one of the moments where, like, all right, this is working. Keep doing that shit. But the big thing was, like, the run game was varied up. It was more, on the edges finally. And, like, our running backs finally started bouncing the runs outside. I hadn't seen that really all year. So a lot of encouraging stuff there. But my point earlier, the spell of 14 carries for Woody, 5 for Chubb, and he had 47 yards. He averaged 9.4 yards per carry for Nick Chubb. Like, 5 carries, but 9.4? Like, dude, that is, I mean, obviously it depends on the defense we're playing, but, like, that might be the recipe going forward. And Mills had 3 for 20, including the touchdown. That was a 14-yard rush. Trevor Lawrence, he's ass. He was 13 of 23 for 158 yards. A touchdown, interception, 5 sacks for 39 yards, 74 rating. So, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's slightly below average in my opinion, but he's paid at $55 million like he's like a top 10 quarterback. He's like a 20th, and I think they should and will move on from him soon. I can't help but think, watching all the pressers and the games, that Liam Cohen is getting frustrated. And here pretty soon, if things don't change, his ass is on the line for Trevor Lawrence not performing, and he's going to want his own quarterback, regardless of the contract and how it is. But yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much most of it. Etienne had 6 for 58, so kind of, kept him in check. 35 of their 94 rush yards were from Trevor Lawrence, just, doing goofy shit, somehow breaking tackles. We also had another fumble that we didn't recover on Trevor Lawrence. So, I mean, that was bad luck there to not recover that. But yeah, so team stats, we'll go through that real quick. 19 first downs to 27. We controlled that. They controlled the game. No, you didn't. 3rd down, they were 4 of 11. We were 10 of 15 on 3rd down. We controlled that. Total plays, 55 to 69. We controlled that. So, like, they're talking about them controlling the game, and y'all didn't fucking control shit. Like, we won this game by 7, which was really, the Sheldon Rankins fumble 6 at the end was poetic justice. It was awesome. But, we won by 1, essentially. But we outplayed the shit out of them. It was just special teams. We should have won by 14 aside from this last second touchdown. Passing yards, 119 for them, 282 for us. Rushing, 94 to 130. We had over 100 yards rushing. Wow. Red zone, 2 for 4 for them, 4 for 5 for the Texans. Dude, let's go. This was a big part. These refs were terrible on both ends. There was a lot of bad calls. Mostly, I mean, I'm biased, but, like, a lot of bad calls not called on us or called on us. Calling the PI on Derek Stingley, but then he goes and gets a pick right after. calling a taunting on Kamari Lassiter for slapping his helmet and looking at a guy for a split second. And then you had, what else was there that was terrible? The PI on Henry Toa, who was not PI. It was the same thing he did 2 weeks ago against Christian McCaffrey. I was going through film. They held us on their first field goal, didn't call it. That's 3 points that should have came off the board, or a field goal before half, I should say. And so there was a lot. I mean, and the PI on Christian Kirk, to me, it was a PI. I know Watt said it wasn't. He held his arm, even though it wasn't egregious. Kirk couldn't get his arm to the ball. He could only get one arm to it. If you're holding his arm, that's PI. Just because he was discreet doesn't mean it wasn't PI. If you go back and watch it, like, because I know in the stadium I didn't get to look at it, and I watched it like on the TV copy, it was PI. And the call on them for Walker roughing the passer on Mills, it sucks, but it's the rule that sucks, not the call. Like, it's the NFL. And so, I don't agree with the rule. I get mad at it when it happens to us, but it gets called on us all the time. It was a helmet to hit. It was just bad luck. But that was a big one. I didn't look at it yet, but the hands to the face on their last drive that negated a big gain that would have put them in field goal range. I assume it was. I don't know. I need to look at it. But, regardless, it was a sloppy game. There were 9 penalties for them for 90 yards, 11 for 80 for us. They're like one of, if not the most penalized team in the league. And we were up there early, rectified it, but now we're kind of trending the wrong direction again. But regardless, if you want to go back and argue all that stuff, like, it pretty much evened out, I think we can all agree on that. So, yeah, Watt was on some shit saying that, bro. Like, come on. And then almost no attention was paid to the Christian Kirk revenge game. There you go. And then JJ says, I hate how delusional opposing fans get when our special teams or offense gives a short field for easy points. Bill Seahawks and Jags fans are hyped. They have, yeah, dude. And like, I try to argue, like, no, we scored this point. So it's like, yeah, you drove it 20 yards, 30 yards. You never drove the length of the field. It's like, be real. And like, they take offense to it, like you're talking crap. Like, I'm just talking logical, like if that was the other way around, like, yeah, like we got our points not from our offense. You had 200 yards of total offense. Like, your offense fucking sucked. Like, that's not crazy to say, but yeah, so time of possession, we won 31-29. But let's just run through real quick on PFF on the grades. Again, disclaimer, I don't always agree with the grades, but use your own discretion. If they match up, cool. If they don't, whatever. But regardless, it's still a good resource to look at. And so we'll share this tab instead. So this overall, the Texans graded at 72.3 for the game overall. That would rank as their fourth best game of the year. Offense 71, pass 54, pass block 62, defense 71, special teams 51.3. That checks out. And so let's see here. We'll go to offense. Nick Chubb, 87.4. I mean, limited sample size, balled out. Checks out. Woody Marks, he balled out, 86.5. Checks out. Blake Fisher, I noticed that in the game. He balled out. He was mauling, dude. 81.8 in 15 snaps. 5 pass block, 10 run block. Jaden Higgins, 79.2. Yeah, I think it checks out. Jalen Knoll, 76.7. Checks out. Play him more, please. He had 18 snaps. Christian Kirk had 26. So he's kind of getting closer to it. But I will say too, like when I watched the Christian Kirk mic'd up, like, I think it sucks for us. Like, we don't know who's making these personnel decisions, but I think it's Nick Caley. At least like from Christian Kirk, like, the way he was talking to him, like he did do a great job on that, PI that he drew one-on-one coverage. Like, it was PI. And then as far as like later, he was talking to Nico and him. He's like, you two guys are fucking warheads. And so like you kind of see how he views Kirk. And I do think that, Kirk is getting a lot of criticism and deserves it, but I do think he's getting overhated. I think there is the element of Noel is great and we love him and he's a really good, talented, explosive, young early draft pick. But I do think Kirk, you know, is there's a lot of stuff that he does that we don't really see. And Noel is starting to improve. I saw some better run blocking for him in the game, but like run blocking, little details. I know it's annoying to say, but I'm just saying like Kirk is getting more heat than what he deserves, in my opinion. He graded as a 53 here, so maybe I'm wrong, but Davis Mills, 47.9. I mean, I think he didn't play really great. I don't know that he played that bad. I mean, he did have some turnover-worthy throws. He threw a lot of balls into double coverage or tightly contested coverage with Nico, and Nico just made plays. So, I mean, but they gave him a 34.7 run grade. I mean, how? He had that fucking game-winning touchdown. But yeah, Trent Brown graded bad. That, I think he didn't play that bad at 39.5. City Sao had a 38.8 in 9 snaps. Yeah, that checks out there. Harrison Bryant, average or below average 54. Who else do we have? Jarrett Patterson, average at 60. Juice Scruggs, 61. I mean, we can live with that, honestly. Schultz, 65. Schultz been very steady, very reliable for us. Jake Andrews, 73.7. I mean, I haven't noticed him on the film really screwing up. So, I mean, that seems like it checks out. Nico, 73.9. Ursary, 74.2. We'll kind of go over here to defense real quick. And over on comments, show up late and leave early, missing the whole game. Yeah, talking about Johnny says, I don't understand how the Houston Texans fan base, if I paid money to go to a game, I'm getting everything out of it. Yeah. I mean, some people have been going forever, and I get it, and people are just frustrated, and it's like the same old stuff. But like, I would never do it because then I would feel like an idiot if you left and then you missed that, and you're like, oh, I'm a freaking idiot. JJ Watt and Ian are the best announcer combo right now, in my opinion. Facts, dude, they're so good. And then Johnny says, by the way, Texans are now 32-16 versus the Jags. JJ says, I feel you, and I'm the same. And so I think what I'm going to do is Titans, I really won't get into on this. I think we'll probably just finish doing this and go through my timeline of all the interviews and stuff. And I know I always say it, but I'll try to get another episode in previewing the Titans tomorrow or Friday. Maybe during the day, it'll be a random deal. So, and then JJ says, also winning culture will keep people in those seats, get a Super Bowl, and people will stay. Yeah. So, I mean, until we win or go to a Super Bowl, people are going to be doing that. And it's funny, like you can win a Super Bowl and like be ass afterwards, but they can still have that faith. I had that thought earlier. But yeah, so going back to the grades on defense, Danielle Hunter, 90.2, balled out. Miles Bryant, 74.8, dude. And he played all over the field. He's good. EJ Speed, 73.3. That's my guy. Tommy Togiai, underrated guy, 72. Tim Settle, underrated guy, 70. Danico Autry, underrated guy, 70. Will, 69.2. I don't know. Bullock, 67. Barnett, 65. Rankin, 66. Tremont Smith played pretty well, and being asked to step in like that, 66. Kamari, 65. I don't know. I mean, I watched the film. There's a lot of these miscommunications, and you don't know who it's on, but they're obviously docking players for it without knowing. And then Johnny says, Garrett, I can help you with the vid previewing the Titans if you want to collab. Yeah, what do you mean? Like talking together or what? Just let me know what you're talking about, Johnny. Yeah, Nosh, Titans are a cakewalk. I mean, I would still go into it, but not quite as in depth as normal. But there's still some previewing to be done. Maybe I'll get into it on here. And then, so yeah, Jalen Reed is somebody we thought might have came in, but and even now too. So now it's a question going forward in this game. I think that they start Miles Bryant at strong safety. because of the trust and communication factor. Jalen Reed, I like him as a young talent, but based off of what I've observed for how they do stuff, they like the trust and communication. Maybe they mix them in some. I know people talking about Jalen Mills too. Jalen Mills maybe, but I really think Miles Bryant is that guy. And I think they roll with the same thing as far as if Petrie isn't back yet. I think they roll with the same thing as far as Tremont Smith at cornerback 2 and Kamari as the slot and long passing downs. Otherwise, they'll run a lot of 4-3, I would suspect. But yeah, so that's pretty much it on the defense on the grades. And we'll go through NFL Pro. There was a couple tidbits on there from the game that I can share that were pretty cool. We'll go to week 10. Week 10, Jaguars, Texans. Yeah, so the Jaguars had what was it? Like 95, 98. They had like a crazy percentage to win. But we can go through the insights. There was a couple ones that I thought were cool. So Arik Armstead, he caused havoc against us. That's an interior player, so that's concerning. Yeah, Danielle Hunter. There was a stat here. Hunter got home against Trevor Lawrence throughout the game despite facing 9 chip blocks, tied for his second most in the game this season. So, like, he balled out despite double teams. Yeah, so Hunter balled out. There's all those stats about pressure rate and shit. But yeah, Nico was 7 catches on 15 targets. But yeah, that's pretty much it on there. But I guess while I'm in here, let's kind of go through. I guess we'll go through stats, next gen stats, and we'll go to team offense, and we'll see where we're at ranks wise, just to see yards per game. We're 15th at 331. You know, we're on the cusp of top 10. I mean, Patriots are 359s. I mean, like they could make some moves if they continue trending in the right way. EPA per play on offense, we are 17th at minus 0.03. Let's see, pass yards per game, we are 15th, 220. So I mean, this is trending to where like this is all we need. With an elite defense, we just need an average offense. And then you go to EPA per pass. The Texans are 14th at minus 0.01. Rush yards per game, Texans are 22nd with 111. So obviously that's an area to improve. I would imagine the EPA is similar. EPA per rush is 19th. So, I mean, that needs to improve. But the quarterback pressure percentage, you know, Texans O-line is ass. Let's see where they're at. They are 13th, the 13th best, you know, fewest pressure rate, 32.5. They're really tied for 12 with the Niners. I mean, the pass pro has been good. A lot of that is play calling, getting the ball out quick, decision making, stuff like that. So, but one sec, get some water here. Shout out Larry. I'll let you know, Johnny. I'm just if I do a Titans preview, it's just it would be very last second. But yeah, if we go over to, let's look at team defense. We already know this is going to be like, we'll go to yards per game. Texans, fewest at 261. Touchdowns allowed. Third fewest at 17. I mean, but, you know, we're getting put in bad situations a ton. and I believe at least one we let them score, you know, so, I mean, he gave up one against the Jags. EPA per play, best, minus 0.18. Denver right behind us. Pass yards per game, the Texans are the 4th best, 171. EPA per pass, the Texans are minus 0.27, by far the best EPA per pass defense. And then we'll go to rush yards per game. We are, let's see, 2nd at 90.3. Everyone's talking about how bad our rush defense is. Like, no. And so we'll go to EPA per rush and EPA per rush. They're 12th, minus 0.05. And then quarterback pressure rate percentage. We're starting to climb up. We are 11th at 36.1. It's kind of been average or lower because, teams don't allow us to pressure the quarterback. But I think that's it on that end. We can kind of go through the timeline here. If the Texans can't win with the game against Titans with Mills, they don't deserve to have optimism about the season. Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy task, but yeah, you got to have it. Only game the Titans have won is a fluky choking game by the Cardinals. That is true. Nosh says if Stroud magically makes out the concussion protocol, he should play versus the Titans. And so real quick on like that, on the concussion stuff, like I know there's like a lot of debate like, oh, they're making the right move or should we not rest Stroud? Like that's not like a thing. Like he's in concussion protocol. It's like in the league's hands. They have like a 5-step program and when you are cleared, you are cleared. Like it's stated, like you can't hide it. It's not like the Texans doctors and like, oh, he's good, but like, hey, should we not say he's good to like let him get more rest? And so 1, when you're cleared, you're cleared. 2, when you're cleared, like you've been cleared to not have re-aggravation. It's not like a hamstring or like, oh, you might hurt if you play. It's like once you're good, you're good. Like you're not gonna like your re-risk injury is not for a concussion is not like a hamstring. Like once you're cleared, you're cleared. So so there's no debate about should we rest him? Oh, they're resting him. It's about if he's cleared in time, and if it's like on a Friday or a Saturday, now the decision is, do we want to play him? He's cleared, but do we want to play him with no time to prepare or game plan? That's what it would be. And so I don't know if he will clear by then, but typically, obviously, quarterback will be different as far as, if it's like a franchise quarterback, you probably would play him. Whereas if he was, another position and he clears like on a Saturday, you wouldn't do it, but you would probably heavily consider it. So that'll be what to look out for there on that. But it's going to go back through here, all the stuff. Just kind of get to some of the pressers. Yeah, Texans are 2-0 with J.J. Watt calling the games. Here was Mills post game. I need to share this instead. So that way y'all can see it. All right, y'all already see it. Okay, here we go.
Back from a 19-point deficit in the fourth quarter.
I mean, it was a great team win. The guys never lost faith. Really executed today on all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams. But I mean, we went in the locker room, really knew we were still in the game, obviously going down early on. It's tough, but our guys have a great mentality to constantly attack and be aggressive. And I mean, offensive line put on some big-time drives, running the football. Running backs did a great job out spreading it around to the receivers, making plays, and our defense kept finding ways to get off the field and get us the ball back so we could go out there and score.
I imagine it wasn't what the call was. Can you take us through what you saw on the game-winning scramble that led to the touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, we only had so many calls up this week down in the red zone, and we were kind of running through them as the game went on. So that was one of the repeat calls.
I know people were like, what the hell? Like, we only had so many calls in the red zone.
They played a good defense, ended up getting zoned to it. And, I mean, their edge rush did a good job of pressing the pocket all day, but they pressed it and left open a scramble lane. Woody Marks released out that same direction, ended up picking up a big-time block, and I found a way to get in the end zone.
That was a very heads-up IQ play by Woody. So, like, he had a rushing lane and scrambled. Woody had a flat route, and he saw he was rushing. So then he like pretended like he was running a route upfield to occupy his defender to run him out of the play. And then when Mills got close, he kind of just boxed him out. It was a very heads-up play by Woody.
For you, 34 months since your last start. You talked about it this week. Similar situation a couple of years ago. The team decided to go with Case. What are the emotions like for you knowing you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get at this?
It's awesome. Extremely grateful for the opportunity. I kind of joke around about it all the time, but I just say I'm out here doing my job. Never know when I'm going to get my name called to go in. Unfortunately, with CJ getting banged up last week, hopefully he's recovering well and should be back soon. But extremely grateful for the opportunity and the team trusting in me to go out there and win the game. And I mean, it's exciting and it's great that we got the dub.
Dude, he's a pro's pro. Like, he understands his role. Like, I'm a backup quarterback. Like, I'll step in when needed. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better backup quarterback. He's worth every penny. Yeah, I mean, so you have to be happy with Davis Mills as your backup quarterback. And then here's Kamari after the game talking about the Stingley interception.
Greatest, one of the greatest players I ever played with. I mean, one-on-one, go out there, dive, undercut the route, one hand snag it. I didn't get to see it because I was covering on the other side, but once I saw the replay, I'm like, bro, you got to chill out, bro. You got to chill out.
Yeah, that was insane, dude.
One of the greatest.
Yeah, and the Rockets had a crazy comeback that day too against the Bucks. That was pretty dope. I forgot I was going to say something else about Mills, but I'm sure I'll come back to mine. Yeah, Hunter balled out. We know that. Yeah, that throw right there to Mills to Stroud was insane. Let's see. And then here's post game. D'Amico talking about Davis.
All of that without saying how Davis played. Davis did an outstanding job of leading the offense all week, and he did it again today to come out and have a pick on the first drive. Right, it's easy to go in the tank, but he bounced back. He kept battling, kept making plays, and he goes for 3 touchdowns and the one rushing one that we needed the most at the end. So I'm proud of Davis for the way he stepped up, led all week. All of that without saying how Davis played.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Engineer says Jaguars might want to trade for our QB. He's the best QB in his draft class. Like, who was it? Like Zach Wilson. It was Trevor Lawrence. It was a bunch of other guys. Like, Davis Mills is the best quarterback in that draft class, bro. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, and then he says that Stroud can learn a thing or two from Mills. I mean, yeah, that's like true for anybody. If you step back from whatever your job is and you watch someone else do it, and everyone does things differently, I don't think that comment has to be taken like in a negative light. I think that is true. Like, you're like, oh, like, look, he did this here. Like, oh shit, yeah, I can do that. So I think there is an element of like, it's good to see someone else do it, and it is good to see like it's gonna make you want to step your game up. Like, obviously, there's no controversy, but Stroud, like, it's probably mixed emotions. Like, you're happy, but you're also like, fuck, like, this guy's getting praise. And so, yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. That's a good point. And then Brandon said off stats, our toughest upcoming opponents are Chiefs and Chargers, in which I think both of those guys are beatable. And yeah, here was the playoff picture before the Chargers game, but I mean, we're a game out from the 7th seed. Like, the sky was falling, but now we're right in this shit. And like, my point is like, we played a hard ass schedule to begin with. We got a pretty tough schedule to finish, but a lot of the teams in front of us played an easy ass schedule. I mean, the Bills just lost to the Dolphins and they're supposed to be world beaters. Like, the Chiefs are good, but they're not like elite. I mean, yeah, it's all in front of us, dude. I mean, things will change. The Colts, they're good. They're not like this crazy unbeatable team that a lot of people like to say. They could have easily lost that Falcons game. They could have easily lost the Broncos game. They could have easily lost the Cardinals game. Like, that's 3 games right there. You're talking about 5-5, dude. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I know they like seem awesome from like their offense, but their defense fucking sucks. Like, we have a great defense and a bad offense. They have a bad defense and a great offense. So I mean, it is what it is. But like, the way we all think is like offense, like, oh, Taylor offense, but Jones is coming back down to earth, and they haven't played a defense like us. I guess the Broncos they did well against, but still, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. Ayush Kanupuri says just came back from the Rockets game. Dope. They were dominating. I'm sure they finished it out against the Raptors, right? And Jake Andrews, I think he said like something about how he got he like bloodied his hand or something. But let's see if we can get some more. JJ Watt referred to the Texans as us on the broadcast. Let's listen to my guy, a friend of the show, Mark Vandermeer, his call on the Mills touchdown.
37 seconds to go. 29-24, Texans trailing, 3rd and goal at the 14. Mills, shotgun, marks to his left, 2 receivers, wide side right. Here's the snap. Davis looking. Davis stepping to his left. Davis on the run. 10. Davis 5. Davis to the corner. Davis! Touchdown! Houston! The Texans take the lead on the Mills scramble. Amazing! D. Mills gets it done. 37 seconds to go. 29-24. Texans trailing, third and goal.
His head's down. I guess he's laughing.
Mills
Mark's the man, dude. And this was cool too. So there was, we'll just watch this whole thing. There was a message that D'Amico showed a video of a fight. I'll just play it.
Turnover on offense, and they get 10 points up early. D'Amico, he showed us a video last night, and it was, about a heavyweight fight, and the guy whose shoulder dislocated. He's
completely gone the shoulder. I don't know whether he's looking at the corner. Jim McDonald is surely going to have to put him out. He cannot fight on now, Danny Williams.
He's fighting with one arm in the 6th round, and he just told us, like, whatever happens, no matter what, just keep fighting. So you just see this guy, I don't remember the guy's name. It was an old fight, and he just shows the guy, knock this dude out with one arm, my other arm's dislocated. The message for us was just keep swinging. So all day, that's just what we kept thinking about. Like, bro, our shoulder was dislocated early. First quarter, come out the gate, they come up 10-0 and feeling good about themselves. I think it was 17-0 at one point or whatever. You're feeling good about yourself, and rightfully so, you made plays. So you got to finish the game.
We talked about it last night, man. Hey, we talked about swinging, right? We were at halftime, we were in that 6th round, right? And we needed everybody to keep swinging. I told you guys, don't blink no matter what. Everybody just kept punching. We kept throwing haymakers. To finish in the 4th quarter, guys, we finished 26-0 in the 4th quarter. That's how you finish, right? That's how you finish the game right there, right?
Bad things happen. I just look at the game as I look at life. It's like bad things are gonna happen. Like, do you hang your head and go run and hide? Do you quit? Do you give up? No. Like, you got to keep punching. In life, in football, you got to keep punching, and that's what this game showed today, man. You just have to keep playing with heart, playing with resilience, and hopefully the film shows our guys proof that we can battle and win in any type of game.
Yeah, that was crazy. I never heard of that. I had to go look it up, but yeah, that was cool. And yeah, he said keep swinging. Like it definitely resonated because everyone was saying it, and it held true in that game. They kept swinging, so that was kind of dope to see that come to fruition. So here's D'Amico talking about Ariante Ursary.
I can't say enough about Tay. He's playing the toughest position in football, like left tackle. You're on that island a lot, and to be a rookie in that spot, from the first week till now, like, he's gotten better each week. He's getting better, right? And he's doing a great job of, not losing focus. He's just locked in, doing his job the right way, and he has that desire. It means a lot to him to protect the quarterback, and he's doing a great job of it.
Yep. Mercy Ursary. What we say, Brandon? No Mercy Ursary. Nico obviously balled out. And let's see. Yeah, Danielle Hunter talking to Mills during the game.
Our team is very confident in our own abilities. We have a lot of players who can make plays, and we just needed to get things clicking. And as we went out there, I think we really only had, one possession in the 3rd quarter, and went down. We were able to drive the ball pretty well in the 4th quarter. And like I said before, defense kept finding ways to get off the field. Daniil was joking around with me in the locker room. He was like, our defense is good, man. He was like, keep finding ways to go down and score points on offense, and we're going to keep getting you guys the ball back. So having that in the back of my head and being able to trust the guys around me, especially on the other side of the ball, to go out there and make plays. It was just a hard-fought win. It was fun.
So that might have been part of it too, is like, hey, go take chances because we got your back, or give us a chance. But that's hilarious, like Daniil saying that. Let's see what else they got on the timeline. Yeah, it was great, man. It was a great comeback win. So D'Amico lost a close friend. I didn't realize.
My heart is full. I'm so proud of our guys, man, because it's something we've been trying to find, right? Is that
it's not even what he's talking about here, but he lost his friend from like elementary who he ended up playing with on the Texans, and it was like very recently, like before this game, and like I'll post a video later tomorrow, but like he would like text this guy, like the guy would like they were so close that the dude would like text him like after every game, like his thoughts on the game plan and stuff.
That belief, that resilience that you need, and I'm just so proud of our guys for, and not just the player, I'm proud of the coaches and players. Like I was just asking them all week just to make sure we're all in this thing together, no matter how the game looks. Everybody just stick together, continue to bring positive energy, right? And we finish with the knockout punch there at the end that we needed.
Knockout punch. That's the same messaging, but yeah, that win's going to do a lot, man. I mean, you just got to take care of business against Tennessee and get Stroud back, but it can do a lot. I couldn't wait to post this Bill O'Brien clip.
What's up, Trevor?
How you doing?
Bill O'Brien to Trevor Lawrence after the game. Trent Brown on the final play. This is pretty funny.
I lost my way right there on that last set, the one he scored, but I was crazy because I told him, I was like, man, I hope he doesn't just move, Davis. Don't sit back there. Sacrifice, go win, sacrifice your body. So he did that. It's like telekinesis, I guess.
What can you say about
Trent Brown got that telekinesis with Davis Mills already, man. But yeah, so just continue to go through a couple comments. No mercy, Ursery. Yep. I think I've been using that. It's a good one. And then let's see. He knew this game would be ugly. Yes. I mean, it was a great message. He kind of told him to hang in there. Texans versus Patriots in the wild card at Foxborough. That'd be crazy. RIP Earl Cochran. Yep. That's his buddy. Is Ursery developing into a franchise level left tackle? It sure seems like it, man. That BOB clip is legendary. Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. We kind of went through the snap counts. We'll kind of get to more of the interviews. And so, yeah, I think this really can be a springboard. Here's D'Amico talking about that.
Realize what this game might have meant to this team and just take it for what it's worth today.
Yeah, I take it. I take this moment right now, and I'm a relish in this moment and love this moment for how our team battled, right? And yes, I hope it's a springboard for us, moving throughout the season, that we continue to see that it doesn't matter, right, what the scoreboard looks like. It's about how you execute, how you finish, how you play together, and how you have that belief in one another and in yourself, right, to go out and finish games like this.
Realize what this game
Yep.
might have meant to this.
It could be, I mean, this could really, like, you got new life. It could really rejuvenate this team. So here's D'Amico talking about, let's see what it is.
Backs, I thought Woody, he played fast. He made plays, especially plays on the perimeter, which is where we've seen him shine the most, when he can get the ball in space. And he did a really nice job of handling the bulk of the carries for us. And when Chubb came in and got his opportunities, man, you talk about it, he had some explosive runs. He ran physical. He looked like he had a little extra burst to him, so it was good, a 1-2 punch that we were able to use. Those guys did a really good job, and he did a.
That's what I said, man. That's the new formula. Stick with it. I feel like we do these things and they work, and then we go away from them. Like, I know it depends on the opponent, but like, repeat what you just had. Like, at least allow for it to have the same outcome. And then here's D'Amico on the offensive line.
Yeah, for the offensive line, we'll continue to find what works for us, and the best guys that we can put out there. We're gonna try that. And it's a culmination of a lot of things that you guys don't see, from practice, from how we've seen guys work throughout the week, how they're doing. Yes, with the mental being where they're supposed to be, doing the things that we asked them to do on a consistent basis. Like, a lot of things go into play there. So still a lot of things that we can clean up, and a lot of things just with our entire team. We can just be more consistent on doing the things that we're asked to do. And till we're going to keep moving guys around till we find the right group that's going to do it the right way, do what we're asking them to do every single time that they're out there.
That's what's interesting is, like, it makes you think, like, are people, like, was there, like, issues going on? Like, and then all of a sudden now you got, like, a big sense of urgency. Like, you thought the O-line been doing better, but, like, I guess it's still encouraging to see, like, they're still trying to find – I know there was injuries, but, like, they're still trying to find the best five. So, like, that's kind of dope to see, like, they got urgency. So, I mean, I'm not mad at the mindset. And then here's
a 2-point conversion. No one's talking.
I don't want to play it because they're going to dock me for the Watt thing. But he talked about that was a pretty sick catch with Nico, and I agree. And then here's Davis Mills talking about Nico being double covered.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. Nico's a playmaker. I think he's a pretty much a mismatch against everyone they put on the other side. I think a lot of defensives starting to get him into a lot of cloud coverage, double coverage over top of him, and they find ways to take him out of the game. But anytime they don't, we're looking to find a way to get him the ball. And I mean, he's grown a lot since 2021 when we were rookies. And I mean, I just wish the best for him and continue to light up the league.
Yep, he's a stud, and he gets double covered, but when he gets one-on-one, you hit him every time. And John Gruden was talking about Daniil Hunter on his nicey. It was pretty funny. And let's see here. There's D'Amico on the red zone.
Higgins touchdown. And when we were driving down the red zone, you know, we've had a lot of red zone woes here for a long time. So, yeah, Woody getting in on the flip crack play, that was a great play just to see everybody see, okay, we can score, we can get in the end zone, right? But to come back again, and when we needed it most there, you know, Higgins, the connection from Davis to Higgins to get that play, I think that was the one that really sparked everything for our team.
Yeah, and we felt it as fans, like it's like a collective mental block as far as the red zone and short yardage, like or goal line, like, oh, they can't do it, they can't do it, they can't do it. And you know how they are, they'll like deny it, but like he's being honest, like it was affecting them too. So like that breakthrough was huge. So hopefully that continues going forward. Here's Liam Cohen after the game.
So that's the #1 defense in the National Football League, and that's the reality. And points were definitely hard to come by, especially in the second half. And we got a lot of help from teams and a couple turnovers early, but we weren't able to go capitalize. 4 of 11 on third down versus 10 of 15.
On defense.
So
that's another week, another coach, another player calling us the best defense in the league. I mean, it's no secret. Like they're elite, bro. And so if you want, I got like a bunch of film on there on my timeline breaking down stuff. And then here's Mills, you know, about keep shooting after the pick.
I have always had the mentality to stay confident regardless of what happened on the play before. It's kind of like the old basketball mentality, shoot or shoot. If you stop, I mean, you're not going to see shots go in. So
Facts.
I have always had
that used to be my mentality at the bar when I was single, like shoot your shot, man. You know, you can't score if you don't shoot. It's all about volume. Let's see. And then Liam, again, this is what I talked about earlier, the one-score games.
Play didn't happen, whether we were pressing too much to make the play and didn't, to the finish, the mindset, the mentality to go take it didn't come. We had multiple instances where the ball was up in the air, tipped, and it just didn't, you know, go our way with those instances, where it has in some of those other games where we were 4-1 going into this game in one-score games, and we were back in one at the end, even though you're sitting there up 19 in the fourth. It became a one-score game. We needed one play. We needed a stop. We needed a third down conversion on offense, and those plays didn't happen. That is absolutely maddening, but it's also, this is the NFL. Like, those things happen all the time in this league. Just so happened to be on the wrong side of it yesterday.
I know people are like, oh, it's loser talk, but I mean, there's truth to that, man. Like, I agree. But yeah, Lambeau's right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Let's see. Kind of keep going, scrolling through. Yeah, here's the shitty walk. The shitty show. I had a GIF on my timeline. Man, I love watching film, dude. But like, it takes me so long because I like obsess and overanalyze every play, and then I want to share what I discover. So it just takes me forever. Not to mention like content interweaving through it the whole time. So here's Jake Andrews on Daniil Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, did you expect anything less? I mean, the guy's a monster. Have you seen him? He just looked like he was on a different level today too, right?
He's a mutant, man. I mean, you know, he's obviously played this long for a good reason, and he still produces, you know, like he's a young buck, and he's awesome. He's awesome to have in the locker room, a great guy, and really happy for him as well.
Yeah, he's well said. He's a mutant. We've got a handful of interviews left. We're kind of working our way through. Again, here's Liam Cohen talking about our defense.
We tried to chip them a decent amount at times, and they were hunting. I mean, they were hunting. That's a good defense. It's a good DL that has made some good off.
It's kind of funny how he talks to, like, just say defensive line. He says DL, and then instead of saying special teams, he says teams. I guess it's like a new, young, hip way, like using vernacular, but it's like, bro, go on, dude.
Defenses look pretty mediocre. I think they were averaging about 14.5 points a game. We scored 20 on offense or 22 on offense and 7 with special teams, right? So we were above the average, but that wasn't good enough yesterday.
Yep. Let's see. Going through D'Amico. Here's again about the red zone. It's a mental block that was lifted, hopefully.
So many guys making some impact plays in the game. And I think the play really there in the fourth quarter that sparked it for us when Davis connected with Jaden Higgins in the end zone. Like, to see our guys get in the end zone again, I think that just uplifted our entire team and that confidence there. No, okay, we can go score.
Yeah.
And we can go score again. And we did it with confidence. We were really driving the ball all day on their defense. So I felt confident in what we were doing. Thought Davis did a nice job. We ran the ball well, but it was just that little dark cloud hovering over us of, are they going to score in the red zone? Right. And we were able to do that, right? And not only do it one time, but to do it, 4 times there with not after the play to Higgins, but Dalton making a huge, what a catch. And for him to be able to get his feet in, Nico on a 2-point convert, it was just so many big plays happening there in the end zone.
Yeah, King Colby's asked about Mixon. I don't know. And then Nosh says maybe Mixon comes back for the Colts game. I still am like holding out hope that he comes back, and that would be insane. That would be a massive boost. Lambo, Johnny, Liam, I'm a hip guy, Cohen. Yeah, he's cheesy when he talks like that, but I like him, man. He's a good coach. Brandon says we only had to wait a few weeks to get revenge for the Jags loss. Jags have to wait an entire year to try and get revenge. Enjoy the suck. That's a great point. That's hilarious. I got tired of hearing QB Duvall. Yeah, Jags fans, they're crazy. Let's see. And here's some mic'd up that I was talking about earlier. Here's Kaylee and D'Amico to Kirk after the PI.
Great job getting that call, man. Great job. Hey, that was a big time play. Isolation, man. I got you. Love that.
Okay, bro. I think he said in isolation, like he's like a one-on-one. And then here is D'Amico on the game Danielle Hunter played.
How good. Danielle Hunter, go.
Yeah, it's one of the best games I've seen him play.
Incredible.
Since he's been a Texan. It's it started for me in the run game. When I saw the way he was setting the edge in the run game, like that's what sparked it for me. And then when he was rushing, like he was getting off the ball, he was playing explosive, violent, and the tackle had no chance. And so, for him to get the plays he made, also he had a 2-play sequence late in the game where he goes underneath the tackle, gets a tackle for loss, and then he gets a huge sack.
Yeah, Mark's talked about that a lot.
And it's that was such a huge 2-play sequence in the game to knock them back. Man, it was big. Danielle, he's outstanding.
Yeah, Danielle Hunter balled out. Nosh, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I failed to mention this so far, but he says Cade Stover is returning, massive boost, big time. So I don't know. I believe this is his first week to practice, so I don't know if he'll be back this week. It usually takes a couple weeks, but if and when he's back, he's really good. Like a lot of the run plays we do is like where the tight end will like motion at the snap or before the snap, and he'll be like on the run and kick out the edge. It's called like a split action, and we'll do that and run inside zone or a run duo. And Cade Stover is elite at that. He is great on the move. and also like wham blocks where he's coming and, doing the same kind of kick out, but like on a nose tackle. And so he would be, that's something we've failed to recognize. Like our run game, short yardage has struggled. Cade Stover can alleviate a lot of that. That's why we've gone into the jumbo package to try and counter that. But let's see. Brandon says the way Aaron Wilson described the recovery, I don't see Mixon coming back. So what exactly did you say? I haven't heard of what he said. I guess he probably said on his show. And Stover would be huge. And then Jakob Johnson should be ready to go. So, I mean, he practiced every day last week and didn't come back. I would imagine he's back now. I didn't really look at it, but I don't know if British Brooks really played that much last week. And so to me, I mean, having British Brooks played 2 snaps. So we didn't even run fullback. So I would think that British Brooks may either be inactive or solely special teams, and Jakob Johnson should be active and be used as our fullback. I love British Brooks, but he's undersized and he's still, learning the position. But we need that actual fullback too. That's another big part of our short yardage. Not having Cade Stover, not having Jakob Johnson, those things matter. You got a 220-pound fullback running fullback dives against elite defensive interiors or lead blocking. That's a big deal. Shout out Primo Looks. He says, need Mixon back, man. Facts. And then Lambo said, I'd rather have Stover out there than Fisher and Jumbo. At least you get the third or pass or run. Yeah, no, for sure. And now those play actions work better. You're not, maybe in the goal line, but at least we have different things at our disposal. But here's Kaylee talking to Kirk and Nico. Kind of hard to hear that. You two are fucking warheads. So this video is funny. It was on TikTok. AI. This is actually 1,000% real. It's the exclusive footage of the Jaguars in the locker room after the game.
We give up 26 points in the fourth quarter. Our quarterback can't throw for over 200 yards. 200 yards. Who's our daddy? The Houston Texans.
That's pretty funny. I mean, AI is cheesy, but that's pretty funny, bro. Come on. Here's Derek Stingley during the game.
Yeah. Oh, this celebration was a little different.
From Big Sarge. How Big Sarge?
I was just looking like, oh my God, like the stadium was going crazy. Like everybody screaming. Like it was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. It was crazy. He cracks me up, dude. Yeah, I kind of keep going through here. We'll be done in a little bit, fellas. Almost 2 hours. See if I missed. Yes, it definitely was AI. I was kidding, but pretty funny though. Keep going, keep scrolling. What? All right, so here, I mean, this is.
He wanted to put the ball in the quarterback.
D'Amico saying what I said they should do and how it turned out for the game plan.
It's going to be the key. We knew they were going to try to stay after, but if we stopped them, like we wanted to put the ball in the quarterback's hand and make him beat us, make him drop back and have to beat us. And so it took, Tommy Togia inside, so many plays that he made in the run game. Our edges, Daniil did a great job playing in the run game. One of his better games was setting the edge, coming off, making plays. It was really a collective effort from stopping the run. The guys did a really good job of staying with it, right, and not letting down at all. Like we knew we had to stay with it. They did that. They tackle well, and that was the key to us.
Coach, you mentioned shut down the run, man, and make Trevor Lawrence beat you, and he did not beat you. And then here, a lot of these are with John Harris and Mark Vandermeer, which you can find on the Texans YouTube. Here's him talking about J.J. Watt when he calls the games and the production meetings.
What is that like for you, former teammate of yours on national television?
It's always fun. It's easy when I'm in there with J.J. and his crew. I feel like they do a really great job. It just, again, I'm talking to one of my teammates. I probably share a little bit more than I need to with him, but I can just be open, honest, just talk to him. That's my old neighbor, my teammate.
Yeah.
Like, that's my guy. JJ is my guy, so he does a great job. We keep it professional, but they want to know, like, the kind of the pulse of the team and where we are, like what's been the messaging all week with the guys. And I feel like when I start talking the message to him, I feel like I'm talking to, my teammates. So it's kind of like I'm delivering my message and I'm pumping him up, pumping the team up. So he gives me a little practice for my Saturday night speech.
That's dope. Yeah, and then Brandon in the chat says that Aaron Wilson said that Mixon was having issues with the blood flow to an area during his rehab, and so that's partly why it sounds like it's a tough deal. But yeah, and then on the Jaguars deal, Jerry and Jones on that pick. Here's the video of that.
2nd down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Shotgun. It's a blitz. Fires it to the right side. Ball picked off. That ball is intercepted. Running it back is Jarian Jones inside the 30-yard line. What a play by Jarian Jones. He picks it off and runs it back to the 29-yard line of the Houston Texans.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a great job by
So I tell him great eyes. He says, I knew the play.
Jarian because the Jaguars are bringing a blitz, and so he's in.
So him knowing the play is not on Mills. It's them watching film and tendencies from the offense.
Anticipating that ball coming out in a hurry, and it does. Davis Mills is trying to find Christian Kirk.
Even then, too, it's a tough ass. It's a 5-yard hitch, but like if Kirk can like come back to the ball a little bit, it's much tougher for him to catch that.
Jarian jumps right in front of him. That's an outstanding takeaway.
As soon as they lined up, I said, if he throws to this spot, I'm picking that. So that's just an instinctual play. It's like, I'm going to sell out to this route.
Out, little long.
I mean, that's just a hell of a play by a backup nickel corner. That's very impressive. And then, yeah, this was a lot of fun. So this is on the Jaguars YouTube. Them kind of showing the reaction of Mills scoring is hilarious.
4-man front for Jacksonville. Shotgun for Mills. He drops the throw. 4-man rush. Looking, scrambling to his left. He's going to run it. He's going to run it to the 5. He's going to run into the end zone for a touchdown. Here we go. 7 seconds to play. Shotgun for Trevor. Dropping the throw, and it's a 3-man rush. Looking. He hit. The ball came out.
It's intercepted.
It is intercepted. It's going to be run back on the final play of the game. It's going to be a touchdown. A tough way the Jags led it 29-10.
I mean, it is cool that the Jaguars do a lot of insightful stuff win or lose. You got to respect it. Makes for good content for us this week. Henry T was on Good Morning Football. Let's see. This one is this is pretty cool. Him talking about D'Amico Ryans.
But D'Amico Ryans, the head coach, so hyped on the sideline on Sunday. I feel like he's always hyped. What is it like working with him, and how contagious is his energy?
Man, when you got a leader like that, he's a player's coach, man, and he expects greatness out of you. Me and him have a great relationship. So when you have somebody that you'll go out and die for, and he still has that player energy where he's hyped up, he's turned up. When you make a play, he's jumping up and down with you, and that's what you want as a player. Like, you want to be able to go out with somebody that you know that'll die for you, and that's who D'Amico is. And he's really relatable. He doesn't only care about you like as a ball player; he cares about you as a man. Like, we have real conversations about being, a husband, a father, and that just speaks volumes to who.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. I mean, he's a player. That's what a player's coach is. And then here's him talking about Mills.
Yeah, I mean, when I first got here, I got here as a rookie, and Davis was like the quarterback before, CJ got here and everything. But me watching Davis and seeing Davis behind closed doors, man, he's a true pro. Like, the way he approaches the game, the way he approaches practice, every rep that he gets, the way he watches film, takes notes. I've just seen it firsthand, and I expected nothing less from when he stepped on the field. I knew he's a great leader, and he was going to get us a dub, and that's who Davis is. So I don't think
that catch was nasty. Double covers D'Amico. This throw here.
Yeah, I mean,
they were showing some highlights.
When I first got here, I got here as a rookie.
It was a fun game. I don't really show the all 22 and stuff because they'll dock me for stuff on here, but a couple little fun tidbits here. in Week 10 against Jacksonville, Danielle Hunter became the only player in franchise history to record 3.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble in a single game. And then since 2018, Hunter has tallied 6 games with 3 or more sacks, tied for the most by any player in that span. So they come in bunches. You know, he's tied with Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. I mean, so I know people get frustrated, but like he's been producing. He's solid, dude. Yes, I mean he had an incredible day, but I mean I don't really think he did anything different. It just kind of turned out that way. So let's see here. Henry T on the comeback.
Feels good. It's gratifying, and that's. I mean, whenever you can come back like that, it's like it feels good. It's gratifying, and that's just like a testament to who we are as a team. Like we talk about it all the time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna throw punches. It's not gonna look good, and we're gonna find a way to win. And that's kind of been the story of our season. We got hell of a guys in the locker room where we're gonna
throw punches. I've been saying that, and it's not going to look good. That means we're good defense, bad offense.
Fight, scratch, claw to get the win. And that was just a testament to who we are. So really proud of the guys, but you know, we got Tennessee coming up this week. So really looking forward to that matchup we got coming up.
That was good. I mean, you see like they got a spark, but he's also moving on. So I guess I'll play this. So when I posted that Jaguars video, which King Colby asked, like, yeah, they post like content like that. The thing is basically like stuff that we would make and then we delete if we lose. Like, so I liked that they posted, I guess selfishly in this instance, but I said you got to be a sick individual to enjoy watching the Jaguars implode. And I played that, you know, like everyone's replies to the meme. And I quote tweeted with this song cracks me up, dude.
I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck.
Oh man, I'm sorry for the I know I cuss on here, but I thought of that. That song is so funny, dude. They got the, you know, the crazy freaking suits on, and like the lyrics are so dumb. It's a dumb song, but it's one of those dumb songs that sounds good and it gets stuck in your head. I've been listening to it all day. It's hilarious. Him and Lil Pump. But here's Matt Burke, like I talked about, talking about Danielle Hunter and his efficiency rushing.
Honestly, in both phases, I think probably underrated a little bit of just how we setting edges and playing the run. I mean, obviously the sack production was there. Really just felt like his get off and his like surge in the rush was just very consistent. Like, man, wasn't wasting any movement. Just really had some just real efficient, like really elite rushes. And then just the way he set edge in the run game, I mean, obviously the TFL numbers and stuff really helped us snuff out a couple things on the perimeter. So deservingly awarded that honor, and hopefully we can keep that going. Sometimes we joke, you know, he had I think 4 games where he hadn't had a sack. So sometimes you got to see the ball go in the net and then it opens up. So hopefully he can keep that momentum going.
Yep, balling. And then CBS that has the Texans at a 23.2% chance to make the playoffs. I feel like it's higher. I know I'm crazy and optimistic, but anyhow, the injury report today, Aziz was limited with the knee, Petrie DNP concussion, Stroud DNP concussion, Mills left elbow practiced, Kaimi still DNP, Barrios practiced full with the quad, Hansen limited with an elbow, Jakob Johnson hamstring full, Christian Harris shin full, Ingram knee limited, that's encouraging, Titus Howard concussion full, awesome, Schultz shoulder DNP, you know, he's kind of like a vet who's banged up, Cade Stover foot limited, Harrison Bryant neck shoulder DNP, he's kind of been banged up too. Both those tight ends have missed practices but still, you know, gotten through it. And then Autry, you know, DNP at the knee, he's kind of a vet rest too as well. But we're almost there. Let's get a couple more. Here's Casario on Trent Brown.
It's about Trent, just in your history with him, and then what'd you think about the way that he came back and played his first time in well over a year?
Yeah, Trent has a lot of experience. He started a number of games at tackles. When I was in New England, we traded for him. He had never played left tackle before. He was a right tackle primarily at San Francisco. And then we had a situation, we were looking for a left tackle. Then he went over there and played left tackle for the entire season, and he helped us get to the Super Bowl. So he's, I would say, very athletic for his size. He's a big human being. So he's strong, he's powerful, he's smart. and he cares a lot about playing well. He takes a lot of pride in what he does, and he sustained the injury there October, week 6, whatever it was, for Cincinnati. But the idea when we signed Trent was this is a player potentially down the road at some point, once he's healthy, might be able to provide some depth for us in whatever shape that looks like. And there was a situation there where Titus was out for the game, and we wanted to maintain Jumbo. So if you put Blake at right tackle and then you want to go Jumbo, then there's a lot of mechanics that go into that. So the idea was let's just put Trent at right tackle. He was able to have a full week of practice. We were able to kind of use our Jumbo package, which has really helped us, I would say, probably this year more than any. But Trent has a lot of experience to play a lot of football. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful. And the big thing is just when he's on the field and able to stay healthy, he's usually been a productive player.
Yeah, so that, again, that was the insight of to why they started him at the Jumbo there. And so for the Titans, on the coverage, EPA, Texans #1 EPA per dropback. Titans are 27th. So, I mean, they have a bad pass defense, and they run mostly cover 3 and cover 4, a very similar split to what we saw with Jacksonville. And we had success against cover 4 in the red zone, so we could be seeing more of that. And I think that's pretty much most of it. I mean, the press conference today, Kaylee really didn't say much. Injury report for the Titans. Safety Mike Brown limited with the knee. Outside linebacker Arden Key with the quadricep limited. James Lynch defensive end shoulder full. RB so Chig and Conquo limited. I mean, so Jeffrey Simmons DNP with the hamstring. Xavier Woods DNP hamstring safety. Kevin Zeitler breast DNP. So, but yes, I mean it could be potentially. I'll dive in more, as far as who will and won't be available and kind of listen to their side of things. But I guess real quick, too, we can kind of just go through the Titans, just kind of get a little bit on there just in case I don't get to go in depth on it. What time is it? 11:13? We do a little bit. So click on the Titans. They're 1-8, against the Chargers. They lost 27-20. Let's just kind of go through this game to see. I mean, they were up 7-0, 7-7. They were up 14-7. But I mean, their first 2 touchdowns was a pick 6 and a punt return. Jameer DK is a good punt returner. We just had a punt return against us, so that'll be something to watch out for. And then they were down 17-14, tied 17-17 in the third and in the second, and then down 20-17. I'm sorry, that was like in the third. And then, so down 27-17 with 9 minutes, and then they cut it to 27-20 with 4 minutes. So, I mean, it was a pretty tight game. I mean, it could be similar for us. I think our defense is way better than the Chargers, so that's a factor. But, they're also had the bye. So, I mean, who knows how they come off of that. That'll be interesting to see. But if you just kind of go back and look at the rest of their schedule, I mean, they seemed like they came in against the Colts the week before initially and were hanging in there. It was 10-7, 17-7. I mean, not really. I mean, the Colts kind of took care of business against them. So they got smashed by the Colts. They got smashed by the Patriots. I mean, so they lost to some good team. Gosh, damn it. They got smashed by the Texans early in the year. This thing is glitching for me. Okay. Patriots game was never really, they were up 10-3, 10-10, 13-10, and then it kind of went away from there. So they, were in there early and kind of went away from them. I know there was like a defensive touchdowns given up in that game. And then they lost to the Raiders 20-10. That game was never close. So, I mean, they're bad on offense, bad on defense. I guess we can go to NFL Pro real quick. And let's look at kind of the same stuff we just looked at for the Texans. And so we'll go to EPA per play on offense. They are going to be the worst in the league, minus 0.26, 32nd. And as far as pass goes, they are 31st in the league passing offense, and we're the best passing defense. And then if you look at EPA per rush on offense, they will have Tajay Spears back, so I know that's different. So that'll add something there. But 31st ranked rush offense. I mean, they're just bad across the board on offense. We'll go over to their defense, and let's see what they are. EPA per play. They will be the Titans. I mean, 29th. I mean, they fired their coach since the last time we played him, Brian Callahan, so that's a factor. So 29th worst EPA per play on defense. I mean, this team has 1 win, 1-8. It is a divisional game. You should take care of business, but I mean, they're bad. 28th in pass EPA on defense. And so offense sucks, defense sucks. Let's go to rush EPA for the Titans. I mean, we should just – this will be – their rush defense sucks too. 28th EPA. So, I mean, this will and should be just like a boring – just run the ball, control the game, get in, get out with a dub, just from my surface level observation there. But and then their defensive pressure rate, they're 24th. I didn't look at on offense what their offensive QB pressure percentage rate is 39. So our D line should eat. Let's see if they've uploaded any insights yet for the game. We can kind of buzz through some of those. If so, it says the Texans have the NFL's top-ranked scoring defense and total defense, and the Titans had the league's last-ranked scoring and total offense in the NFL. Oh, my God. This will be just the 6th time since 1970 that the best scoring and total defense will face the worst scoring and total offense entering the game. The top-ranked defense is 5-0 in the previous 5 meetings with an average margin of victory of 15.8. We cannot lose this game. At the very least, you lean on the defense. So last game we came to pass to open the run. My initial thoughts diving through this is we need to come out conservative game plan. Don't turn the ball over. Just put it all on the defense and then just run the ball on offense and, make passes here and there. But it should be a boring, just get in, score, run the clock out, get the fuck out of there type of game. Yep. And so this one's kind of messed up. Davis Mills has a 6-19-1 record and 26 career starts. That is the worst record by any starting QB to make at least 25 starts since Mills entered the NFL in 2021. That's bullshit. Y'all quit hating on him. A lot of those were tanking teams. All right. But yeah, so that's kind of what I see there. I mean, I'll do more on that. Maybe I won't, but yeah, so that was a good episode. I appreciate all of you guys. As always, feel free to, or please, like and subscribe to all my stuff everywhere. Get you some merch. I got Rockets merch too. I'm bad about, pushing the merch on my socials, but I got this 281 Amen Thompson and Alperin Şengün shirt. I need to make a KD shirt. But yeah. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, we blessin'. If you ever need anything, hit me up. I guess I'll read a couple comments too real quick. Bills battle Red Day next Thursday. It's going to be dope, dude. We got to win this game, and it's fucking on, dude. And then, let's see. BG, my guy. Lambo, I live in Austin, was shocked that this game is actually blocked out on Fox. Not blocked out on Fox. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, appreciate you guys as always. See you next time. Peace.